The only thing I'd say to you, Schultze, on what you're talking about, I think when they got to the point where Dame was kicking around the idea of coming back, like I think it had gone too far. The Kobe Laker examples, it's an okay one to use, but it didn't get quite as deep as the Dame Blazer saga had got. And so when Miami seemed like they were not going to be a possibility, I think he looked at the landscape and said, well, where else would I want to go? Nowhere. And I think at that point they had Scoot, like we had Ant. It just roster-wise, it didn't make sense. They'd put themselves in that position, sure. But I think he said no because like it just doesn't make sense. It's not fair to anybody. And so I know not everybody liked that, and you hold it against them. But personally, I kind of felt like at that point it had gone too far to be able to say, yeah, why don't you just rescind the trade request, all the noise, all the hoopla, and just fit right in with our 5-guard lineup. Why don't you just go and do that?
I mean, contract was signed. He had planned on playing with the Blazers for the next 4 years, making a bungload of money. Yeah. So I hear what you're saying, but ultimately, this is, once again, one of the top 100 players of all time that we're talking about.
Top 75, actually.
Thank you. Top 75. These are the guys you make exceptions for. These are not the normal players that just like, oh, you move on. And maybe I'm a little biased because I heard my dad bitching a lot about the Clyde Drexler thing and the way that was handled by the Blazers. And, he said a couple of different times, even despite not liking Portland, he wanted to try to finish his career here. He was in on the Blazers and ending it here if they were going to handle him right, but it was obvious they were just doing a rebuild, firing Adelman, moving on to Carlissimo. I mean, same kind of deal. You look and then essentially in the early 2000s, same kind of deal, blowing things up, drafting Sebastian Telfair. I mean, time after time after time, the Blazers have done this, moved on from a star, in my opinion, too quickly, or moved on from a team too quickly, so that could have gotten all the way. So I just feel like this was the wrong move, especially because this is probably the best player you're ever going to have in your franchise, ever.
Well, the Blazers are in fuego right now. They actually got the win in Dame's return. Quite emotional. A great basketball game, really.
It was fun.
Yeah, it was back and forth in nature, and nobody really blowing the other one out and like, oh, man, Milwaukee's got the lead now. Oh, here comes Portland. Portland's got the lead now. Here comes Milwaukee. It goes all the way down to the wire, and Ant Simons hits the go-ahead bucket. It's an ugly-looking shot, that Euro step jumping off the wrong foot shot floater that he has, but he's done it twice to win games. So it works. Who cares if it's ugly? It looks weird, but it works. It's what he practices. Dame didn't have his greatest game. Many are saying, not having his greatest season. Milwaukee fan that's, over anxious and living and dying by every moment of an 82-game season's freaking out right now. Doc Rivers isn't inspiring a whole lot of confidence. It kind of looked the same as when Adrian Griffin was coaching the team. I don't know what that was at the end of the game. Why is Damian Lillard inbounding the ball when you're down 3 with 5 seconds left? That was odd to me. But Portland gets the win. They're not like on this real long winning streak by any stretch, Schultze, but playing better basketball. They beat the Sixers, a very shorthanded Sixers team. Milwaukee's a great win for them. They've blown that Milwaukee game at Milwaukee. But you lost Chicago, San Antonio. So, you're 3 and 4 in your last 7. But as Gundy noted, it is looking a little better. DeAndre Ayton has certainly put together a nice little 5-game stretch here. The Ant stuff's interesting. I know he had the go-ahead. He had 24. He's just kind of been up and down. His January was not a good January, and I know he did get sick in January, so give him that at least, and we'll see what February is going to bring. But he at least ends on a high of the team winning. It doesn't feel like we're going to trade Malcolm or Jeremy Grant. Scoot had 15 points, like really quick in his first stint in that game last night. Not so much in the second half. A nice overall win. Our Blazers, Schultze, in fuego? in Fuego?
I would say that
3 and 4 in Fuego?
They are definitely in danger of hitting the over on their win total for the season.
Oh, you think that's in play?
I mean, what,
they 15 and 33?
Yeah.
The over-under's 28, I believe.
Yeah, 28, 27 and a half-ish. So they've got nothing else to play for other than night to night, trying to be the best team that they can and basically go out and just play the hell out of that one game and then go on to the next. I mean, what else are you doing as a professional player? You're cashing that check. You know that you're not making the playoffs, so you're showing up giving, I guess, last night was their Super Bowl, right? For the Portland Trailblazers.
Absolutely,
this was their playoff game for this year.
Yes, it was.
So this is probably the most effort that you're going to see from them all year, but you would think going into the end of the season, of course, being a spoiler starts to kind of creep in these guys' heads. There's reasons that they'll get up. So yeah, I do think that 28 win total is in danger of hitting the over for everybody that thought the Blazers were just going to be absolute ass all season.
Can we talk about very quickly, because I want to go to something that's looming for Portland, and I think it was brought up on yesterday's show. Can we talk about Brook Lopez real quick and the fact that he hates Damian Lillard?
Yeah,
Is anybody else picking? Are you a league pass guy, Schulte? Are you a big NBA guy? Is it like your not number one, but are you watching a lot of NBA? Are you a league pass guy? It's okay if you're not.
I watch the big games. Like,
you watch the TNTs, the ESPNs.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So this has kind of been looming in the background of the Bucks season for those non-league pass subscribers. Brook's got interesting body language with Dame. It seems like they would get along. Like, Dame's a pretty consummate pro, and Rolo played here, and he's on that team too. So you think like, hey, brother, I played with this man. You should trust him. Brook doesn't indicate body language-wise like a guy that wants Dame to have Dame time. I can't think of a bigger example than the end of that game. Dame dribbles, the double's thrown, he kicks it to Brook. Brook up fakes, gets Tumani to jump past him, and then that leads Malcolm to start leaking over to help because Tumani's behind Brook. Dame has space, and you need a three, and Brook shoots the shot. Like, how unaware of your situation do you have to be in Portland for Dame's return, have Damian Lillard open for a three, and be like, no, it's Brook time.
I love the picture on Twitter of Dame he's waiting for the ball.
He's literally like, yo, Malcolm would have put a hand up, but he wasn't getting there. Dame would have had a clean look for Dame.
Absolutely.
And Brook was just like, nope. It's me.
Does he hate Damian Lillard, or is it more because I noticed this when Adrian Griffin was their head coach? Brook Lopez just looked out of place. He looked uncomfortable. I mean, it was like always defensively. There was some kind of feeling from Brook Lopez where he was out of sorts because you could see him complaining to either players on the court or to Adrian Griffin about the spacing, about where he was telling him to go.
He hated Adrian Griffin.
So I feel like that whole vibe this year for the Bucks has just kind of been there.
Yeah.
I'm not sure he hates Dame. I think he just doesn't know where to be in this offense, but maybe I'm missing some of this league pass stuff that you're talking about.
It's not just league pass. The offense is weird. It's clunky. A team with Dame and Giannis on it should not be losing to a team with the Blazers.
Well, Brook Lopez doesn't know how to run the pick and roll either. I mean, Dame trying to get used to, maybe that's why Brook doesn't like Dame, because trying to get used to running the pick and roll with Damian Lillard.
I'll tell you why Brook doesn't like Dame.
Hell for Brook.
I'll tell you why he doesn't like Dame. One, the Sacramento game, he hit the game winner. Brook Lopez was like the only guy to not celebrate that with Dame. Everybody else jumped at him.
Oh, okay.
This is why Brook Lopez hates Damian Lillard. Defense. Do you know how many times in a game Brook Lopez is probably like, oh no, I gotta help on his guy again. I gotta save his ass. Oh no, I'm a big guy. I can't guard two people. Dame, get over here. I don't know why I'm making that his voice. I'm trying to go as low as I can because he kind of has that low 7-1 voice.
I think him and Rolo kind of sound very similar to what
Rolo, nice little moment with the broom getting that ball. But I really think Brook Lopez doesn't like him. And the fact that he passed him up on that three with his return in Portland, knowing we were all waiting for our hearts to be broken by this man, I think that shows it. And I think it's because of defense. Dame's not good on defense, not even a little bit. And I think Brook's been like, oh, I'm helping so much. I can't keep helping. And he's like, screw this guy. I don't know what am I doing with that voice? It doesn't sound anything like him.
It's a tough, I don't know. They're way taller than you or I.
But I kind of like talking like this. Like, imagine an NBA player. Hey, you're not playing good defense. You need to help me out.
I just don't think you've got there's no way that you can replicate that. You don't have the pipes, bro. They're just not big enough.
I can go deep. I can go real deep.
Yeah, our IT engineer Joey in here says that was a shot at you, but I stand by my words.
Wow.
Stand by it.
You know, you get out of here, Joey in IT. Why don't you go back to your IT cubicle?